Good morning, students. In our previous classes, we have already seen that how static electricity was developed in different processes in objects like friction, conduction, induction. Now, how this kind of static electricity was discovered? There was a famous story of Benjamin Franklin. We all know that. But is it a true story? It was said that on June afternoon 1752, the sky began to darken over the city of Philadelphia. As rain began to fall and lightning threatened, most of the city's citizens surely hurried inside. But not Benjamin Franklin. He decided it was the perfect time to go to fly a kite. Franklin had been waiting for such an opportunity, and he wanted to demonstrate the electrical nature of lightning. And for doing so, he needed a thunderstorm. So he did not miss that opportunity. He had his materials all ready with him, a simple kite made with a large silk handkerchief, a hemstring, and a silk string. He also had a house key, a Leyden jar, a device that could store an electrical charge for later use, and a sharp length of wire. His son William assisted him. Franklin had originally planned to conduct the experiment atop a Philadelphia church spire, according to his contemporary, British scientist Joseph Priestley, who incidentally is credited with discovering oxygen, but he changed his plans when he realized he could achieve the same goal by using a kite. So Franklin and his son took the opportunity of the first approaching thunderstorm to take work into a field. Despite a common misconception, Benjamin Franklin did not discover electricity during this experiment, or at all he discovered. Electrical forces had been recognized for more than 1,000 years, and scientists had worked extensively with static electricity. Franklin's experiment demonstrated the connection between lightning and electricity. What was the experiment? To dispel another myth, Franklin's kite was not struck by lightning. If it had been, he probably would have been electrocuted. Experts say like that. Instead, the kite picked up the ambient electrical charge from the storm. Here's how the experiment worked. Franklin constructed a simple kite and attached a wire to the top of it to act as a lightning rod. To the bottom of the kite, he attached a hemp string, and to that, he attached a silk string. Why both of them were attached? The hemp, weighted by the rain, would conduct an electrical charge quickly. The silk string kept dry as it was held by Franklin in the doorway of a shed, so it would not get wet. The last piece of the puzzle was the metal key. Franklin attached it to the hemp string and, with his son's help, got the kite aloft. Then they waited. Just as he was beginning to despair, Franklin noticed loose threads of the hemp string standing erect, just as if they had been suspended on a common conductor. This is how there was a connection between lightning and electricity was discovered. Franklin moved his finger near the key, and as the negative charges in the metal piece were attracted to the positive charges in his hand, he felt a spark. Struck with this promising appearance, he immediately presented his knuckle to the key, and the discovery was complete. he perceived a very evident electric spark. As soon as any of the thunder clouds come over the kite, the pointed wire will draw the electric fire from them, and the kite with all the twine will be electrified, and the loose filaments of the twine will stand out every way and be attracted by an approaching finger. And when the rain has wet the kite and twine so that it can conduct the electric fire freely, we will find it stream out plentifully from the key on the approach of your knuckle. At this key, the fuel may charged, and from electric fire thus obtained, spirits may be kindled, and all the other electric experiments will be performed, which are usually done by the help of a rubbed glass globe or tube, and thereby the sameness of the electric matter with that of lightning completely demonstrated. Franklin wasn't the first to demonstrate the electrical nature of lightning. A month earlier, it was successfully done by Thomas Francois Delbert in northern France. And a year after Franklin's kite experiment, Baltic physicist George Wilhelm Reitman attempted a similar trial but was killed when he was struck by ball lightning. After his successful demonstration, Franklin continued his work with electricity, going on to perfect his lightning rod invention. In 1753, he received the prestigious Copley Medal from the Royal Society in recognition of his curious experiments and observations on electricity. How do the clouds get charged? During a rain, the air currents move upwards and the water droplets in the form of rain move downwards. In this process, the charges also gets separated, that is, the positive charges accumulate near the upper layers of cloud and the negative charges accumulate near the lower layers. On the ground, positive charges accumulate. The magnitude of these charges grow larger and larger with time and intends the rainfall. Under such circumstances, air, which is normally a poor conductor of electricity, loses its resistance to electricity and begins to conduct. This is known as electric discharge. When the air begins to conduct, the positive charges on the ground meets the negative charges on the cloud and streaks of light is produced. This light is called an electric discharge and we see and call this as lightning. The process of electric discharge can occur between clouds and Earth's surface or even between two clouds, because ultimately we are looking at an interaction between positive and negative charges. Let us have a quick recap on what is lightning. Lightning is an electric spark but on a huge scale. Lightning is caused by the accumulation of charges in the clouds. During a thunderstorm, the air currents move upwards while the water droplets move downwards. These vigorous movements cause separation of charges. This leads to the positive charges collect near the upper edges of clouds and the negative charges accumulate near the lower edges of cloud. There is an accumulation of positive charges near the ground also. Negative and positive charges meet, producing streaks of bright light and sound. We see streaks as lightning. The process is known as electric discharge. Name the device used to protect buildings from lightning. Lightning conductor is a device which is used to protect buildings from the danger of lightning. It is fixed at the top of the building. Now, how does it work? As you can see in the diagram, lightning conductor, it's a device used to protect buildings from the effect of lightning. It's a long metallic rod taller than the height of a building. It is installed during the construction and it always goes along the height of the building in the walls of the building. One end of the rod is kept out in the air on rooftop and it has pointed edges, sharp pointed edges, and the other end is buried deep in the ground as shown in the figure. The rod provides easy route in the transfer of electric discharge to the ground. Now, the part which is buried deep inside the ground, it is connected to a copper plate because copper is a very good conductor of electricity. And the lightning rod is also preferably made with copper. The metal columns used during construction, the electrical wires and the water pipes in the buildings also protect us to an extent. But we should not touch them during the thunderstorm. The lightning conductor, the sharp edges, it actually collects the electric charges from the cloud, and as because copper is a better conductor than other metals, so it is passing the electric charges through it to the ground, and this is how it is getting an easy way to pass through, and thereby the buildings and the person who was staying inside the building are getting saved. This is how a lightning conductor works. Now, experiential learning. We can make our own charge detector. We have to take a paper strip and the dimension may be 10 centimeter and 3 centimeter, and we have to give it a shape as shown in the figure. Now it has to be balanced on a needle. Now we have to bring a charge body near it and we have to observe what happens. Now whatever you're observing, you have to note it down, and when we touch one side of the paper with a charged body, the paper strips will open. This is due to the two sides of the paper strips get same type of charge from the charge body, and as similar charges repel each other, so these two strips also will repel each other, and this similar phenomenon we have seen in case of gold leaf electroscope. So this arrangement we can easily make at home. I hope all of you enjoyed the activity. Thank you, children.